It's that time again. School's about to start and we need to get our supplies.
Supplies? Oh, supplies.
Some of us are more fortunate like myself where the school actually gives us a little bit of a stipend to spend on supplies. Other of us have to pay more money out of pocket. But either way, this is going to be our top 20 must-haves for the classroom. I do want to let you know when it comes to supplies, the less expensive is the better for me being a teacher. And so I'm always looking for the best deal out there. However, there's going to be 2 items on this list, which I will actually include the links for Amazon, which I would recommend just spending a little bit more money because I think the quality is all the difference for these 2 items. But we'll get to that later on. And if you do click on the link, once again, it'll help me out just a little bit. So it'd be greatly appreciated. But with that said, let's roll that intro and get the video going. The first thing on our list, number 20, is this. It's a noise sensor. Yeah, it's a noise. So what happens when I plug it in, it keeps track of how loud the class is. Now I use this, if you watch my video, I think it's teacher versus student, how to keep your class quiet, something of that sort. I use this. And now what I do with this is when students come into class, they'll sit down and they'll start their warm up, right? Their first activity of the day. And I'll put this in. And I'll plug it in, and it lights up. It controls how it basically keeps track of how loud the class is. The great thing about it is that when it hits a certain level of noise, it'll beep. That is the cue for the students to bring it down a notch. Quiet down. So I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say, class, be quiet, or you guys are too loud. This itself does that. And so it's one thing out of my hands that automatically takes care of. And then of course there's other things that go along with it, which you watch a video to see how I use it, but some sort of noise sensor. Now, confession time. I used to have something called a yacker tracker. It was a light. It was green, yellow, and red. And green, everything's good. The louder it got, it went to yellow, and then super loud, it went to red. And then of course it made a sound. I had a yacker tracker for several years and I loved it, but what happened is it broke. I forget, I think it fell down, I don't know, but it broke. And so I had to get a new thing, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go something a little cheaper. So I got one of these noise detecting devices right here, and it's not the same. It's just not the same. Doesn't work quite as good, a little more sensitive and anything else. And so when it comes time to replace this, I am for sure going back to a yacker tracker. And actually, I looked online to see how much they cost and everything, and I think they're like $99, but they're out of stock. The whole COVID thing. So they're out of stock. So I couldn't even get one now if I wanted to. But I would highly recommend that you get some sort of noise detecting device, and I would highly recommend when they come back in stock, you get a yacker tracker. And that is an easy way to manage the noise level in your class. That is number 20. Number 19, an Elomo.
Elomo, no comment.
Wrong Elmo. This is the Elomo I'm talking about. I'll be honest, I'm not even sure what Elomo stands for. E-L-M, I don't know what it stands for. But here's what's great about the Elomo is it takes stuff you put down here and displays it up on your screen, either your projector or your TV or whatever else you have, your smart board. But once again, it takes stuff from down here and projects it up here. And I use this all the time when I'm trying to review things in a textbook, or I'm trying to show a document, or I'm going over something, to have the ability to just put it down here in front, right here on the desk and display it up there is great, because then every student can see exactly what I'm working with. So number 19 is an Elomo. In my district, we're fortunate enough to have a 1-to-1 student to technology ratio, meaning that each student in our district has access to a computer, a laptop, a Chromebook. So next on my must-have list is this, a Chromebook Cart. So a Chromebook Cart and headphones that go along with it. Now hopefully your school has that. If not, that's okay. You can definitely teach without it, but I have found it to be very helpful, and I definitely have used technology once again in my classroom. For me, we usually have Mondays and Fridays, maybe half of Monday and most of Friday. Students will be on the Chromebook working on ed puzzles. That's kind of usually what my format of my class is. And this is so helpful to have. So one of the must-haves on this list is a Chromebook Cart with headphones. Good stuff, good stuff. And being that I'm an old guy here. Anytime we get new technology, it takes me a while to adapt it. I'm kind of like stuck in my old ways. And we got this awesome touchscreen TV display. I don't know what you mean call it, but it's great. And now I love it. But it took me a while to get to that point. But still, one thing that is essential to have with this, or if you don't have something that's quite fancy yet, something, projector that's connected to your computer, is this: you want to have some sort of remote to change the slides. A little click. What was it, remote clicker? Fancy names now, remote clicker. Well, that's what we're gonna call it. You wanna have some sort of remote clicker so that way you can be wherever you want to in the classroom and change it to the next slide. So this is a must-have in your class, a remote clicker for your whatever device you have that you'll be displaying information on. I'm telling you, this list is practical. These are things that you gotta make sure you don't overlook. They're basic, but they make the class run. And so here's the next one on the list. Oh, no big surprises. A pencil sharpener. Now, I've done different pencil sharpeners. You got the automatic ones like this you plug in, the hand ones. I've done them all throughout the time. No specific brand I would recommend. Just make sure you get one that's fairly dependable. And just know you're gonna be going through these quite a bit. You're probably gonna do one every year, every 2 years, depending how they're used, but definitely need a pencil sharpener. Sticking with the theme of simple but necessary, a stapler. Yeah, that's it, a stapler. Once with different staplers out there, I actually prefer ones that work this way where, the ones you kind of push down a little hard, this kind of has some sort of mechanism in it, so you kind of just do a light tap and it staples for you. But just make sure, and chances are you'll probably need more than one staple for you, one for the students, maybe another one in case something breaks or gets jammed. So you probably actually want a couple staplers, but definitely a stapler should be on the list of things you must have for your class. Number 14. Tape dispenser. Well, that's exciting stuff, isn't it, huh? A tape dispenser. Make sure you have that for your class. This pretty much goes without saying, but almost every teacher needs this: a whiteboard and markers. So make sure before the school year gets going that you have markers, you have a whiteboard, hopefully it's all clean and ready to go. You have, a eraser goes along with it, spray for your whiteboard. So those are some must-haves for your class. Make sure you got those. Next up on the list, simple sticky notes.
You steal 1,000 Post-it notes at 50 cents a piece.
That's it, sticky notes. I use these all the time to write down notes, and I have a clipboard I put on, so what I'll do is a lot of times I'll put the small sticky note on the clipboard, but these sticky notes are important for me because once I do keep track of stuff, but these are a quick way to quickly write something down, put it where I need to put it, and so it reminds me of stuff later on, but I definitely recommend getting some sticky notes. Number 11, desk cleaner. Do not neglect the desk cleaner. One of my philosophies, I call the broken window philosophy, where that if you let desks be dirty, kids will see that, and the next thing you know, you get more graffiti on it, more tagging, more whatever else it might be. But if you're constantly on top of the desk, keeping those clean, then there's a better chance of less disruptive things occurring. So once again, make sure you have some sort of desk cleaner. For my school, they actually kind of give us this because of the whole allergy and everything else. But whatever you need, if you need to buy it, just make sure you have it, desk cleaner. It must have been like, 7 years ago, I'm in another classroom, covering the class for the day, and the teacher had one of these things that changed my teaching style for, ever since then. And what that is this, I'm not even sure the formal name of what this is. I don't know, riser? We're gonna call it a riser. But one of these risers you put at your desk, so that way, when you're at your desk, you have a choice. You can either stand or you can either sit. Once again, you can either stand, bam, or you can sit.
Should I sit or stand?
And that's the nice thing about it. You can choose what you do. For me, I pretty much have this up the entire day. It's just easier for me to get back and forth to my class and back and forth to my desk and do what I need to do. And I'm constantly in motion. Kids constantly see me around. So I usually have this up the entire time. But it's so nice because if I find myself sitting down too long, you know, the eyes start getting a little heavy and everything else. So a riser for your desk is a great thing. Once again, I'm always trying to find those deals, and so I'll normally get the least expensive way possible of an item, but these next two items, these are the ones I'd recommend just spending a few cents more, because I feel the quality makes all the difference. And the first one is this, and once again, I'll include a link below so you can click on it for Amazon if you want to purchase these two items, and once again, it helps me out just a little bit. But the first one, simple as can be, pen. Yeah, you know, it's a pen. I know, nothing too exciting. But I'm telling you, after 18 years, I've gone through so many pens, and this particular pen is, I think it's called InkJoy. And once again, I'll include a link below, InkJoy. But for me, this is the best pen there is, just because it lasts a while, the writing's clear, it doesn't smear, and the best part, of course, is I like this little clicking part right there. But of all the pens, this is the one I keep buying over and over again, and it serves me very well. The other thing is, you got it, a pencil. For me, I've come across this, the best pencil I have found. I believe the name is called Velocity. It's a big Velocity. I get like 0.9, I think it is. I like the thicker, it doesn't break on me quite as much. But once again, this just seems to last a long time. It's sturdy, it doesn't fall apart on me. It just works like like I want it to work. So out of all the stuff on the list, these are the only two I would recommend by name. The rest stuff, I would just try to find the cheapest version of it. But these two items, I would definitely recommend. Once again, they both have served me well over the time. So once again, ink gel pen, boom. And then the other one is a Velocity mechanical pencil. I'm telling you, this list is simple. Next one, number 8, notebook. Yeah, no specific kind of notebook, just a notebook. I keep everything in these notebooks. If I have an idea, boom, I'll write it down. If I need something, I'll write it down for later on. Just a simple notebook to keep track of your thoughts. That's what I'd recommend for number 8. Up next, a planner. Once again, no specific loyalty to any kind of planner. I know there's specific teacher planners out there, but for me, I'm just looking for a planner to put things down regarding the dates. I do my lesson planning on a totally different system, which if you watch one of my videos, you'll see how I do my lesson planning. But I just need a planner. I recommend a planner just so you could put down when certain events are happening in this, and so that way you keep track of everything. So a planner is another thing I'd recommend you purchase. The foundation of my classroom management is a seating chart and a clipboard. Once again, I did a whole video about this, how I keep track of my class using a clipboard and a seating chart, but I need a clipboard. And so I actually have 6 clipboards for my class, one for each period, and that has helped me keep track of everything. So I have the clipboard, put the seating chart on it, and every period you'll see me walk around with this clipboard with a seating chart. So any clipboard's fine, but for me, that is another necessity for my classroom. It is a must-have. Number 5, a hall pass.
Where's your hall pass?
Some kind of hall pass. It could be something simple as this little piece of paper that you write things down. It could be something like this, which is a little more permanent, and kids can take that with them to the restroom wherever they need to go. I've heard of people using for hall passes. Boy, I thought about this. I don't think I get away with it though. But a toilet seat, using that as a hall pass. Whatever you decide to use, you want to make sure you have some sort of hall pass. That is definitely a must-have, a necessity for your classroom is some form of hall pass. We're getting there. Number 4, a backpack. For me, the thing that helps me choose my backpack is I'll normally go to Sam's Club or Costco. They'll have a backpack there, back to school, a backpack, and I just pick one of those backpacks up, usually about $20 or so, but some sort of backpack. And because trust me, you're gonna be taking things home, bringing things back. For me, this is my one for, I think I actually had this for 2 years now. As my backpack, and I think I got it from Costco or Sam's Club. But sometimes I actually will take my kids' leftover backpacks. So I'll get a backpack one year and they get tired of it, whatever, and I might take their leftover one. But you need something to carry stuff back and forth from home and school. So just a good sturdy backpack is what I recommend. Number 3, a lanyard or something to put your keys on. It could be a lanyard like this that kind of goes over your neck. That's a possibility. The one I prefer is actually a lanyard once again goes over your neck, but I really like this little retractable thing here. So I actually will put this on my belt loop and then put my keys in my pocket. I prefer that more than having dangle over my neck the entire time. But you need something to put your keys on. Trust me, this is embarrassing. All of this happened to you, but there's been several times where I don't have my lanyard or whatever, and I just have keys in my pocket and I misplace them. I leave them somewhere, or worst thing, I leave them at home, and it is embarrassing going to the office and saying, hey, can somebody come to my classroom and let me in?
Did you guys lose your keys?
And they have to do the walk of shame back to my classroom with security that has the key that's to unlock my classroom. Avoid all that. Avoid all that. Just put your keys on some sort of lanyard. Make sure the lanyard is comfortable. You're going to have that all day, so around your neck, around your belt loop, or some other device to keep track of your keys. But that is number 3 on the must-have list. Well, I didn't ever think we'd make it number 2. Here's our next thing. You need to have this for your class, some version of this. Once again, I'm very economical, so my thing is nothing fancy, but you need to have some sort of turn-in bin, some sort of bin where students can put in work. And if you ever watch my videos regarding my turn-in bin, you see how important that is to have in my class. But if you kind of look behind me, I have a total of 7 bins, right? 1 for each class. Then I have 1 to actually students turn in late work. That's another bin. Then I have 5 bins, 1 for each class. And then the last bin would be if there's no name bin or something else of that sort. So I have a total of 7 bins is what I have for my class. But whatever you incorporate in your class, make sure you at least have some sort of bin to turn in. And it doesn't have to be so ugly. I mean, that's not that pretty, but something in place, so that way students can turn things in or other things that you need to have students do for you. Drum roll, please. The number 1 thing you need to have in your class is probably the most simplest thing, and that is a timer. That's it, just a timer. Now this is an old timer. This is an old kitchen timer that I borrowed and took, who knows, but a timer of some sort you need to have in your class. The timer makes all the difference on classroom management. It tells students how long they have to work on an assignment. It helps with transitions. It just keeps track of everything, keeps you on pace. A timer is essential for your class. It is the must-have out of everything. Now, at one point in time, I actually had a timer on my screen, and that is actually the best way to go because it's big, it's displayed, it's in front of class, everybody can see it, they see how long they have countdown. But I haven't. Well, the problem is when we got these new devices here, the old timer I used no longer displayed on this one, and I had to figure that out. Something with security and everything. But if you can find a timer that you can display, be it something as simple as this, a small one, but even something bigger, that is the must-have for your class. So whatever it takes, get that timer. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. I hope it was valuable to you. If you want more tips and tricks of the trade, please click on one of the links above here. And remember, stay zesty.